Hi, I'm Claire. I'm 39 and I live in Chicago. Lately, I've been feeling like life is just one never-ending loop: work, obligations, routines. Like I'm suffocating slowly without even realizing it. So when my friend Jessica texted me on a Friday morning, I felt a glimmer of excitement I hadn't felt in a long time. "Hey Claire, I've got the weekend off for once. Come stay with me. Let's have some wine and vent a little." Jessica is a nurse, always working weird hours, and this was one of her rare weekends off. I didn't think twice. I packed an overnight bag and drove over Saturday afternoon. Her house was a charming little two-story home in the suburbs. The moment I walked in, it smelled like home-cooked food and vanilla candles. Warm. Comforting. Safe. We sat down for dinner, catching up like old times, when she casually mentioned, "By the way, a friend of mine might drop by for a bit. Hope you don't mind?" I smiled. Of course not. The more the merrier. About an hour after dinner, the doorbell rang. Jessica opened the door, and there he was. Tall. Confident. Effortlessly handsome. He had a quiet charm, like he knew how to be noticed without even trying. His voice was calm and clear, his presence magnetic. And the way he glanced at me, not overt, but definitely aware, made something stir inside me. We moved into the living room, the three of us. We sipped tea, made small talk about nothing and everything. And even though I kept telling myself to focus on the conversation, I could feel his eyes on me from time to time. Not in a creepy way, more like curiosity. Intrigue. To be honest, if I hadn't assumed he was Jessica's boyfriend, I might have let myself lean into those feelings a bit more. Later in the night, I excused myself and went upstairs to the guest room Jessica had set up for me. I laid on the bed, but I couldn't sleep. My thoughts were tangled up in quiet questions I didn't want to admit even to myself. Who was he? Why did I care so much? Eventually, I dozed off. But not for long. I woke up to the faint sound of voices downstairs. At first, I rolled over and told myself, it's their night. Don't intrude. But then curiosity crept in. Against my better judgment, I walked softly to the hallway and stopped at the top of the stairs. From where I stood, I could hear them. Laughing softly. Talking low. And for a moment, I hated it. Was it jealousy? Loneliness? Or something I hadn't felt in years? Whatever it was, it hit me harder than expected. I slipped back into the room, heart racing for no good reason. About 30 minutes later, Jessica's phone rang. Everything went quiet. Then, lights turned on downstairs. I peeked down the stairs and saw Jessica speaking hurriedly on the phone. A few minutes later, the front door opened and she rushed out into the night. Through the window, I watched her drive away. My body stayed in bed. But my mind? It whispered, "Go downstairs." There was no logic to it. Just instinct. I wrapped a robe around myself and tiptoed down the stairs. The kitchen light was still on. He was there, standing by the counter, eating cold leftovers straight from the container. He didn't look startled when he saw me. Just calm. Like he was expecting me. Or maybe just hoping. Midnight snack? I asked with a half smile, pulling my robe a little tighter. He chuckled. I guess. Jessica told me her lasagna was good. She wasn't kidding. I nodded. I came down for water. Silence. A moment passed. Then his eyes met mine. Not casual. Not polite. Intentional. There was something there, something that had nothing to do with small talk or coincidence. And before I could think too much, I found myself saying, "Would you like some tea?" He leaned gently on the counter. "If you're making it, I'd love some." As the kettle boiled, I moved quietly, too aware of everything, his presence, my heartbeat, the sound of the kitchen clock ticking. We sat down with our mugs, the steam rising between us. Music played low from Jessica's Bluetooth speaker, probably something left from earlier. It was soft jazz. And it filled the space like a velvet curtain. We talked. Not about the weather or TV or politics. About life. Loss. Loneliness. He told me how hard it was to feel connected anymore. I told him how invisible I'd felt for years, even when surrounded by people. The more we shared, the more I felt my walls melt away. This wasn't a flirtation. This wasn't a mistake. It was honest, messy, and frighteningly beautiful. He looked at me, really looked at me, and said, "I'm glad you came downstairs." I smiled, but inside I was shaking. It had been years since a man had seen me. Not just looked at me. Seen me. Not as a mother. Not as a professional. Not as a task on someone's to-do list. But as a woman. A human being. A soul. "I should get some sleep," I whispered, standing slowly. He nodded. "Of course." But before I left, he added, "I hope whatever happened here tonight helped you remember who you are." I looked back. It did. And for the first time in years, I felt soft again. The next morning, I woke up with the sun. I don't remember falling asleep. But I remember how I felt, light. Not in the sense of happy, but like I had shed something heavy. I packed my bag, washed my face, and made my way downstairs quietly, unsure if he was still there. The house felt still. Peaceful. Like something had been resolved in the silence of the night. I walked into the kitchen, and saw a folded note on the table. It was written in Jessica's handwriting. "Everything last night was for you. I hoped it would help. You deserve to feel alive again. Jay." I stood there, frozen. Rereading the note 3, maybe 4 times. A smile crept onto my face, confused at first, then warm. Soft. Grateful. It all made sense now. The carefully lit candles. The gentle music. The way she left so suddenly. Did she plan it? Or did she just sense I needed this? It didn't matter. She knew. And in her own quiet way, she gave me something I didn't even know I needed. Permission. Permission to feel. To want. To be wanted. That morning, I walked out of Jessica's house not just as a woman who had spent the night, but as someone who had remembered something powerful about herself. I was still Claire. But now, I was awake. And that's the story of Claire, a woman who walked into a weekend looking for peace and found her fire. What would you have done in her place? Was Jessica just a friend or something of a guardian angel? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to Red Story for more real stories that speak to the heart. See you in the next one.